Hey guys, Dr. Beddoe here, physical therapist, and today I want to talk a little bit more about strengthening muscles for knee stability. Knee strength, knee stability, knee health. I know I went over a few things last time in the video, but there's a few suggestions, a few comments kind of requesting some exercises maybe that could be modified for some individuals that might not be able to stand up and do some more of the dynamic movements. So I want to go over what we can do to really start to protect our knees, also strengthen our hips from sitting. So everything today is going to be more designed to what we can do sitting in a chair. So I think that a very, very useful tool, you can really almost hit any muscle in the body using a TheraBand. If you guys don't have these, you guys can get them a lot of different places, but Amazon's always a good place if you guys have Amazon Prime. But they also sell them at different retail locations as well. I like to get the ones that are straight. They're not. Some of them can come looped, but you can always tie it off. I'm going to tie it off today to be able to use it. But they're really good to be able to use for different exercises. They come in different varying degrees of resistance. So this one is more of a hard resistance, but they come light, medium, hard, and you guys can have some to be able to use with different movements, working on different muscles. So let's get to it. The first exercise I want to do again is going to be targeting the gluteus medius, which is back here, one of your glute muscles. This muscle really starts to protect your knee. It keeps it from diving in, so the movement of this muscle is made to go out. So this is a modified clamshell, but it's nice to do in sitting. So you guys really want to have your ankles together. We're going to loop the band around. You can tie it off or you can hold it. I'm going to tie it off because I'm going to be using this tied off TheraBand for some more movements later on today. Alright, and you want to go out to the side. And you guys can come out and you can hold at the end, or you guys can go for a certain rep count. But really the realistic goal for this is to start feeling it back here in the hip. 4. So just keep going, and it might take 20, it might take 30, but eventually you guys are really going to start feeling in the hip. You guys can go fast, you guys can go slow. Again, you guys can hold, and you can really start feeling it. I already feel it back there in my hip. I like to do these, especially before I go running, especially if you're running on trails, dirt, sand. If you guys are playing sports, rec sports, soccer, football, basketball, doing anything that's any dynamic movement or any risk of having to be able to have any dynamic movements or missteps, you want to turn this guy on so it really protects your knee. 73% of ACL tears really come from non-impact occurrences, meaning that when someone goes and maybe their dog hits them, maybe they misstep, and their knee dives in, the knee dives in, pops the ACL. So if you guys strengthen this muscle, which we're going to strengthen this muscle with a lot of individuals that come to the clinic with ACL injuries, we're really going to attack this muscle to try to get the knee nice and strong. Good, now you guys are feeling it. Feel free to rest for a little bit. Repeat this a few times to get the muscle turned on, get it nice and strong. So the next muscle that we're going to work on in sitting to really start focusing on the knee and the hip, because again, when you guys are focusing on a joint, it's good to focus on the joints below and above. Today we're just focusing on muscles across the knee joint and muscles that are in the hip. So you can bring the TheraBand down. Kind of pull your leg back a little bit. You can also attach the TheraBand to the chair if you want to. But I like this one. We're going to work on the quads. So the quads are called the quads because it's 4 muscles. We have our vastus lateralis on the outside, vastus intermedius, and vastus medialis, and then rectus femoris coming over the top. So what we do is a nice little kick up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now when this side's resting, we can switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, I'm going a little bit fast. You guys can slow it down if you want to. It'll give you guys some time to catch up. So the quads are really strong. Some big guys, some big movers. We definitely want to make sure that the quads are strong, but we don't want to just strengthen the quads and not strengthen the muscles behind, right? So we have an antagonist muscle, an agonist muscle. So we want to strengthen both. There's different schools of thought as far as how strong your quad should be versus how strong your hamstrings should be. Strengthen them both together. For the more higher end athlete, that's going to matter, but for us, you really just want to strengthen both. So there's different ways to strengthen the hamstring. Obviously, with a TheraBand here, doing it on your own, it might be good to attach it to something sturdy you can pull back on. But it also works if you loop your TheraBand and you just bring one leg out, and then you guys put this behind your heel, and you bring it straight back. And now we're working the hamstrings. So hamstrings are comprised of 3 muscles. We have our semitendinosus, our semimembranosus, and our biceps femoris. And our biceps femoris is going to have a couple heads. And we're strengthening all 3 of those muscles with these movements. So it's not the full range of motion, because the full range of motion will be starting here and coming all the way back. But if you're doing these on your own in a chair, this is a nice modification. And then you'll feel it right back here. Good. We're going to switch sides. Three, 4, pull it all the way back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So now we hit the quads, hit the hamstrings, hit gluteus medius. If you guys need a rest, take a rest break. We're going on to the next one. So we want to now work on our hip flexors up here, up in our pelvis, but attaching from our femur up into our pelvis. These guys are obviously for hip flexion. So we actually have a few muscles up here. We have our psoas major, psoas minor, and we have our iliacus. Some people refer to this muscle, all 3 of these muscles, as the iliopsoas, but it's comprised of those 3 muscles. So you can do this one a couple different ways, but we want to put this guy up here. We can step on it with this leg, and then we want to just bring our hip up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we can switch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Working on hip flexors. Now, the one more modification in the muscle we want to hit would be our TFL, our tensor fasciae lata muscle. That's coming from our hip, coming down the side, runs into your iliotibial tract, IT band. IT band is going to insert above the knee and also below the knee. So to strengthen this muscle, usually it's done in standing, but the modification would be now to actually not keep your ankles together, but just move your legs out to the side. Have some nice resistance against it. So we're trying to move again more in the frontal plane if we were standing up in the anatomical position. But because our ankles are not together and we're not actually rotating, we're going to be working the TFL. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, there's some exercise you guys can do in sitting without having to stand up to start working on a lot of the muscles that are really controlling the knee, keeping the knee safe up in the hip. So you guys feel free to watch the video again, and you guys, I would recommend doing at least 2 or 3 sets, and we did 12 repetitions together today, but feel free to increase that or increase the resistance. The different bands are going to have different resistance, so feel free to increase the resistance as you guys are progressing. And please comment below with any questions, and please subscribe for some more videos coming your way.